Okay.
Yeah.
Manager will come. What I'm going to talk about now is closing. What I'm going to talk about is this morning we have been making stories all over the place. Now I have to put the stories in the future you'll make some other stories, I hope. You make them anyway. So what we're going to do is now we're going to close. We're going to do the boxing in. The first time I close, this is the pattern. We're at number 4. First close. Mike, you had a question?
Nee, ik was me de hele tijd afvragen wat die box betekent. Maar dat is een vrouw die zit, een man die zit.
En een box.
Weet ik ook een vrouw?
En degene die dat
Ja, een persoon die zit. Ik zat de hele tijd af te vragen wat dit box betekent.
Thank you for noticing my abstract.
This is art.
Yeah, you should see my dog.
Dat kan niet zo mee.
Ik vond het even zwaar.
Okay. So Mike, you got it?
Yeah.
It's a box. We're going to box in. So normally when I do it, the first close, so the first loop, I just use the product. I don't talk about myself, I don't talk about the company, I just talk about... I just talk about the product. I don't talk about myself, I don't talk about the company, but some people might want to start at the second loop. Talking about themselves, talking about the company. It's like a feeling. I did like the first loop here, I did just the product, so we could rehearse it. Okay? In practice you do it the way you want it. So what we're going to do is we're going to loop them. At this point we're here. You did your presentation, you come up, or you just had the discussion with the presentation, with questions, and you said like, whoa, this would be like nice, and humble blue arm, oh my god, oh my god. So, you go, what do you think about it? You just ask like, what do you think of the concept? And it's like a little pre-close. Morning you got your presentation in, you stop your presentation, you have to ask, what do you think about it? In here I got this question, you have your own question in it, so believe me, you will not be sorry. Sounds fair enough? Going up at the end, sounds fair enough? It's like, hey, I'm reasonable, sounds fair enough? And then what will come is an answer. And the answer will go like, yes, and then you close. The answer will be like, yeah, I don't know, maybe. But the answer will be like, not at all. You have to calibrate that. We did the exercise yesterday, you know. When somebody's smiling, that's a good one. When they're down, you're like, okay, here's where it starts. Now I'm selling. Until this point, I haven't sold anything. The only thing I did was make a story, which is very important, to educate your clients. The doctors, they're important. They need to know that there's better stuff out there than just doing what they're doing now. So you want to have like, at least if they go like, no, I'm totally not interested. And you know that some people just are not interested. You go, hey, thank you. You walk away. But you walk away at this point. You want to do the presentation. At least they notice something better after. That's what you want to tell them. So, how do you do that? Believe me, you will not be sorry. Sounds fair enough? So, this is the important stuff. Sounds fair enough. Klinkt oké? Of vind je? Eh? You want to go up a little bit. Not too much, but that's my first close. And that's selling. And every time I tell a little story about me, about the products, about the company, every time I tell the story, I will ask the same question. Afterwards, I got like 10 questions you can ask. You got your own questions. Of course, you're professional, you got your own questions. But you want to ask for the close and every time. Because at a given point, they will go, and you want them to get in the emotion up, up, up. That's the important stuff. I like this because I'm always asking for the close. So I don't start with my story 3 hours later. I'm still telling my story. And at a certain point, they smile and they would close, but I'm not asking for it. So they won't offer it. Sometimes they will, but they won't offer. So I'm unselling them, I'm selling them, I'm unselling them. That's the reality. What I want to do is, I want to do a little bit, ask for the close. Do a little bit, ask for the close. And while doing my little bits in, the stories you got now, that's where you're going to box them in. At a given point, they will go like, yeah, I don't. And they will be up in emotion, and that's when you close. Sounds fair enough? Yes, it's closing, maybe no. If they say maybe or no, you have to calibrate. They're down there, totally not interested. If you want to stay in for like the 3 hours you get to go to actually go in and do the stuff, that's okay. You like sales? That's what you like. Some people go like, well, if they're like already dead, I'm not going to sell you anything. You know a doctor that's like near dead? Never had a doctor like that? Yeah. So when sometimes it's better not to sell that doctor, sell to somebody else. You got 3 different, yeah, sorry.
For me it's not clear what the word close means.
Close means that you offer the contract, you sign a contract, or they get the ordering for maybe 5 big easies, so you can place them the next week, or you can... closing means that they go like, I want it.
But to have that, you need several appointments, you don't have 20 minutes talk with your client. Or is it possible that now we're doing it wrong now, and when we're doing it right, it will happen in one meeting of 20 minutes?
When I was with Paul, we went into a meeting, and it was a surgeon. After half an hour, he said, yeah, let's do it. Let's get the demo.
It's not that you really have to think that they will sign it at the moment, but they agree with the concept, they say yes, and then...
Yes, and they say like, the next step is, we'll meet with the doctors, and then you have to do the same thing.
Maybe with the closing.
Yeah, and then, so you have to close everybody down.
Yeah.
That's the complexity of it, but...
Getting a demo is also...
If you got in your mind, I'm here to get the demo, then getting to the next step is for me like a close. Once I got the demo and on the next step, you close them back on the next step. So some people will go like a demo, we're going to talk to that guy, we're going to talk to the team, we're going to... Jan told me like yesterday, while I was listening, he said like, well, if you got a doctor in, he's going like, yeah, but the other doctor doesn't want it. Jan goes like, well, get him in then. Then you got like 2 doctors and you're closing both of them. They have to go both, yes.
If you closing, you mean with closing?
Getting to the next step, reaching the next step. For me, closing is actually getting it signed, but reaching the next step in a complex sale is closing for me. Yeah. Okay? Sorry? You get different answers. You might go like, yes, it might be sounds fair enough. No, it sucks. I just be plain English. Gonna be like, well, yeah, I'm quite interested. I got to, yeah. So it's differently then. You don't want to go the script like, if they go like, it sucks, go like, well, great! Okay? So they go like, it sucks, and they're like, here, you want to be a little bit above with your emotion. So you have to go down with the emotion until the same level, a little bit above it. You can say like, things could be worse. You want to get into that emotion, I understand, things could be worse. And that's exactly why and you go on. See? Not that great. Don't go like, oh man, that's awful. Oh, you got, oh my God. Just go like, I'm totally understand, that's exactly why I'm here with this product. And you go on that. So try to lift them a little bit up. That you have to see in practice how you do that. But don't go great. Well, you seem to be doing better than most folks. You got your own sentences in. I saw that in Emily. She's doing it greatly. If I'm not up like that, oh yeah. She will be a little bit slower. So you said, I think it was this morning or yesterday evening when you got somebody on the phone, you went, oh! So you're just not matching him. So you should start like, get him up. If you get in, doctor is like that. You start like that, lean a little bit forward. You start. That's pacing and leading. If you've done the exercise on body language, you should know that by a few minutes in, you can actually relax your arms, and they will start to relax also. And then you relax your legs, and then you start. And by the time you're in, like 20 minutes, will take a little bit longer, sometimes 40 minutes, they'll open up. That's what you want to accomplish. The more you practice, the more they will start following you. So first you pace them, and then you lead. Here you go. The exercise we're going to do is about calibration. The first thing we're going to do, little exercise to start again. If I'm talking to the doctor, and I'm asking a question, so, sounds fair enough? And he starts thinking about it, I have to notice that. Because then, if I'm talking, he won't listen to me. This is the way you can actually know that. I'll get somebody up front then. Who hasn't been here yet? Out of the
I don't know.
Stef.
Is it
Jan?
Is it Jan?
Je hebt het al eerst, dus
Ja,
wacht op naar de beurt.
Hij wist ook niet geweest. Oh ja,
Ja.
voilà. Voilà. Kijk.
yeah, that's hard.
Hoe is het challenge?
Right, I'm going to explain the exercise, and now we're going to do it. Is that okay? I'm going to ask you to sit a little bit like that so they can actually see your eyes. So you have to come in. It's like beautiful blue eyes, so you have to come in. Yeah, really. So basically, when I ask a question to Jan, I say, Jan, what have you eaten this afternoon? What were you? An apple. But he knows just an apple. But he knows the answer by heart. So he's just staring at me. But normally when I ask him, Jan, are you left or right hand? Writing. Left or right? Right hand. Okay. He sits now. I'll be back. Jan is right-handed. I'm explaining this for right-handed people. Then I'll explain it for the left-handed people. Who's right-handed here? Get your right hand up. Okay. Who's left-handed here? Yeah. So I'll explain it later for Chris. Right-handed people, you got your eyes in here. If I'm asking a question, I am to remember something, like this morning, did you do this, did you do that? And his eyes goes up like that. He looks that way up. Then he's actually seeing a picture of himself this morning, what he was doing. Is that okay? Somebody already heard this theory?
If you like.
Most people are, Mike, yes? You had it?
I know it is there's theory, but I remember Which way the eyes will move.
Okay, for right people, they go up to the left. That's visual. So he's seeing something. If his eyes are going like this way, then he's hearing his own voice from this morning. And if his eyes go down, that's internal digital, then he's thinking about something. If his eyes go like up this way, he's constructing. So he doesn't remember everything from this morning, then you'll see he go like that and then go like that. So he's trying to remember the things he can't remember, he's going to construct to make a thing. It's not lying per se, but here, this construct.
Nee, ik vroeg of het niet aan liggen was. Ik zei niks.
Nee. Je ogen niet altijd.
Jij liegt wel als je ademt.
Ben je geen salesman? Okay. You can go down with your eyes, and then you're in the moving parts, static parts. Is that okay? So when, and this is the most important stuff, when I ask you a question to doctor, Jan, last week, on a Monday morning, where did you go? Do you remember that?
Let's think about it.
You went there.
Yeah.
I think about it. You saw that?
Yeah.
So as long as he's staring at me, he's not thinking, so he's making up something. So some doctors go like, yeah, that's very interesting, and they just keep on staring. That's not interesting. They're not in their head doing the stuff I want them to do. I want them to reflect and think about it.
Is it all working? It's always working?
Is it always
When
working?
you're thinking...
Yeah. Most of the people. Some people, when they're like going up that way to visualize, what I do is I don't go up that way, I start staring at you. It's like the picture's just in front of me. So you got these doctors going. Never had that?
The ladies.
Nee, only when I get bored.
That's something else you like to. So when I'm talking to Jan and I'm asking a question, I only ask one question. I wait until his eyes are back looking at me, because otherwise he won't hear me. He's busy. Thank you, Jan. That was an easy exercise. Well, yeah, it's always like that. Most people did this exercise already? What I'm going to ask you is, get in a conversation with somebody, ask them questions, and notice if they're looking into the past, hearing themselves, or just thinking. Sometimes people hear themselves, see themselves, think about it, make something up. And the more you get somebody in trouble, the other picture, the more you get somebody in trouble in here, you box them in. The more you box them in, the more the eyes will go like, because you'll notice it. It's like, oh. That's, yeah. You say yeah?
Yeah, I recognize the desperate situation.
Yeah.
Everywhere. Oh, I'm stuck now in my own books. I have to buy, but
I don't want to buy, but
I want to buy or whatever.
So that's what you want to see. You want to see the eyes pop like everywhere, because they have to buy. So we're going to do a little exercise, just focus on the eyes. Chris, he's left-handed. So, Chris, when you go with your eyes to this side, you're remembering. This side you're constructing. If you're right-handed, this side is remembering and constructing. So just do it the inverse. You can see that because people write right-handed or left-handed.
So
yeah.
This image is for left-handed.
I don't know, I didn't see the, I just took it.
Je kijkt in
de
right
hand.
aan. Je kijkt aan. Als het voor jou naar rechtsboven doet, is dan
That's right-handed,
Ja.
going left.
Rechts voor jou is
Ja.
rechtshandigheid die zoekt.
En voor mij.
So normally to know it, notice it by yourself, it's difficult. But you can see it somebody else. So with my going like, I'm writing like this, then this is the right hand, and then this is going to be remembered. Talk about something you like. We're going to do it with 2 people, not 3. And ask some questions so the eyes go like, remember, you can do constructing too. I could have asked Jan, get me an elephant with blue dots on it, a yellow tail, and then he had to construct it and go on visual. So you can actually help him to do that. Okay? 2 people, 7 minutes maximum. Those who are not back, I'm continuing. So, how did that go?
Can I ask you a question? With a customer during discussion for product, which are the orientation were the most dangerous for us? On the right, below?
None of them. So what you want to do is they look away, they're like thinking for the next question, they look back to you and then you continue the conversation.
A liar is looking...
No, that's...
Above? No.
No, don't worry about it. If you start worrying about it, some people, the best liars, you won't catch anyway. So a good liar, what this person, what a good liar does is like, I wrecked the car of my boyfriend, and normally if you ask me a question, you'll see on my face that I'm lying. That's your example. So what I want to do is construct in my head a film or a picture where actually somebody else wrecks the car. Play that movie over and over and over and over again until I finally believe it myself. So when he asks me, what happened to the car? I can go, yeah, what did that guy do? I have to believe my own lies. When I believe my own lies, I be like totally congruent in lying. So the best liars, they stick to the truth as much as possible, and then they start, and in the end they believe their own stories.
They believe this themselves.
And is there a trick to distinguish a person who's really honest and motivated and one who is telling what you want to hear?
Yes and no. Yes, there are tricks. And it's like actually when you do it a lot, and that's your job, you will start noticing things. But it's not like, I'll notice like that. Lie telling, there are some books in the store about lie telling, and they'll give you everything. But most of all, when you lie, you got some tension in your body. So come from here. It's like, turn like that. Turn around. Okay. Look, just get your arm up. If I push, you keep your arm like that, okay? So, now I'm going to ask you, but think about a person you don't like at all.
Don't look at them.
Don't look at anyone. Think about the person you don't like at all, okay? Think about him, think about it. See him in front of you. Okay. Now, think about somebody you really like. You'll notice that the tension will be differently. So if you want to, you can do the exercise, and people that lie have a different tension in their body than when you're not lying. That's how you notice. You can actually feel the tension. If you're in like the body language, you're rapport, and I can be in rapport with somebody, and actually at the footstep, hear if they're like depressed or not depressed. You can do that if you're long together. No, but this was a feeling that was not good. Lying is a feeling for most people. That's not good. If you're like a liar that lies all the time and doesn't have any feelings about it, you won't catch them, you know? But if you're like a liar who tell a little lie, you won't catch them. If you tell like a big lie, you'll have like tension in your body all over the place. But you could be tense too because something else happened outside. So you really have to, we call that calibrate. What's your normal state? What's your, so you can try with each other. You're like, two people in, stay here. And then think about somebody you hate, or think about something, when you told somebody a really bad lie, you don't have to tell what it is, but, and then push down, and then think about something you really like or love or something like that, and push. You'll see the tension, the arm is different. Is that an answer?
Yeah.
So try it. In
In
groups of two people, and then, yeah. It work for you?
Yeah.
Work for everybody?
Yeah.
Okay. So you also told me like, I hate it when somebody comes and says like me like that, and then with the ear. If somebody gives you the left ear, that's going to the right brain out there, that's creativity. So you also can always do that with me. I'll tell him some stuff. His left ear, that's goes straight into his brain. So he's opened, he's opening up to me. So you got all these things, and I don't have like 2 weeks to actually do all the exercises, but there are a lot of them. And when you hear one, you should practice it. So you can go further and further. Professional sales, you know them all. No. And sometimes they miss, and 4 years later they say like, well, it wasn't that either, it was like that. You know? It wasn't that at all. This chart has been around since 1960, so that's a long time. It's still correct. So that will be okay. Body language is something you can specialize in. Don't overdo it, because you're like learning, like, this is maybe close for some people, no, just comfortable. But if I'm like selling something to you, and I think you're like closed, I'll start feeling the tension, I start feeling the tension, you will start feeling the tension. 10 minutes into the conversation, it's over, and I'm like, damn, what did I do? I want to be like, feel good. A little bit, anyway. Somebody need some questions about this one? The exercises? Is that okay? Yeah? So, the first loop, we're going to loop. That's what we're going to do. So you asked me, great, let me ask you a question. Does the idea make sense to you? Now, it's like another question, but it's the same question as before. And this is where the sales start. The first objection comes up. Now, you have to notice that the first 1, 2, 3, 4 objections, they will be like the dumbest excuses you ever heard. Give me one that's really common as an excuse.
I'm under contract.
Price.
Under contract.
I'm under contract.
Too busy.
Too busy.
My colleague is pregnant now.
Yeah.
On time.
When she's back in 28 months.
It's a small one.
Expected. If somebody goes, the price is too high, it means that they don't know your product. Yesterday we were talking about the dress of 250 euros. For a man, the price is too high. I'm talking about the bike, 5,000 euros. For some women also. That's because they haven't seen the dress yet. They haven't walked in it, okay? So price, always an excuse. If you box them incorrectly. If you box them incorrectly and you start asking questions time and time again, and then you start closing them down, after a while, they're all out of excuses. So then, the real questions will pop up. This can take like half an hour. This can take like 3 months. I don't know. Depends on the person. Some people are convinced very easily. Other people will nope, 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 nope. Depends on you. It depends on the other person. Just keep doing it. So, he says like, well, the price too high. I go like, I hear what you say. And let me say this. Okay? I hear what you're saying, and let me say this. And now comes a story about the product. Is that okay? I'll do that exercise with somebody. Martin?
Yes.
Kom op, visuele beeld dan bij je. Denk hoor.
Okay, I'll be the doctor.
So, can we begin off?
Yeah.
So, how does it sound so far? The
Wow.
concept.
Yeah. If you say how does it sound so far, you want to go up. And if you say the concept, what you want to do is the concept, yet but you don't want to make the arm suggestion, and you don't want to say the concept. You want to actually say it in the tone of voice you got, but you don't want to say, well, how does it sound, the concept, without the money. You will not say that because people are, without the money, it's always with the money. But you want to have the tone of voice, so, how does it say? And you want to suggest the same tonality if you would say, how does it sound without the money? You
Yeah.
get it?
Yeah.
But you do not want to say without the money. But you want to imply it with the tonality. That's a difficult one, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
You can practice later on. Okay.
So, sounds reasonable?
Well, no, I don't think so.
But how's that?
Let's go on.
No, they always say yes.
I always say yes to you need this.
What don't you like about it?
Yeah, what don't you like about it? That's like, but if you go like, what don't you like about it, then it's too pushy.
Yeah.
It's like, you, hey, so why don't you, what's your question? You can make it open. What's your question about it? They're like, well, it's a little bit expensive, isn't it?
Well, I know what you're saying, but let me say this.
And
Very clear.
And now you can do it in, so now you can do it in Dutch,
Yeah.
because if you do it in English, and so now you're going to convince me first on the product. What you want to see in my face is, when you talk about the product, you know, the features and the benefits of the product, is that, you know, when I smile, I go like that. You want to see me go up, so you really want to get it in. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's okay. But what I was wondering, you say, so let me say this, but don't you want to ask a few questions more? Because if
No.
somebody say it's too expensive, then you'll, I don't know why or where.
Yeah.
How do you think it's too expensive?
That's the problem. You really want to answer the question, and when you really answer the question directly, you're just stuck on the answer.
Yeah.
And then, like I'm a doctor, I'm going to control you. I'll go question from here to there, and you have to follow. And you think, well, I got that question. I also want to say this, and I want to say that. So what I'll do is, I hear what you're saying, and let me say this, and then I'll start talking about the product, the features and the benefits, and then I'll start talking about myself a little bit, and about the company, and yes, about the price. And then I'll give you the answer about the price.
Yeah, you park the price.
That's why you
You park the objection and go to the advantages. What did you think about the product itself?
Yeah, but you can.
Yeah, well,
questions.
I would like to ask a few questions more, because I want to know with what is he comparing his price? Is he comparing
Well,
one
this-
line first
Oh,
to the other? Or is
What
it
the problem you got here is because we're going to do that this afternoon, but we didn't do the presentation.
No, yeah.
And there's 7 questions. So first you do the 7 questions, you do the presentation, and then you start closing. But closing is really getting it on. Okay?
Yes.
Well,
We used to learn a lot of years ago when the customer is talking about price. We ask the question, if price is the only issue, we will solve that. So you park the price and you go on, but it's...
Well, if you want to do that, sometimes it's okay to do that. But if you're saying already from in the beginning, if that's the only problem, we can solve it, then he's going, oh, you're cutting the price. If I'm cutting the price, I want to cut the price, but not in the beginning of closing. If I look to him like 20 times and still feel like it's possible, but I still have to cut the price, then I'll cut the price. Or ask him to get the volume up so it's possible. It's like,
I was told always when there is an objection, in all of the information you have, park the objection. Not telling them I'll solve that, but okay, I hear you, but let's talk about the product. What did you like about the product? Did it fit you? Was it easier for you? So let him give you all the positive things he's thinking about the product.
but normally when you do the presentation, you get questioned in first. We didn't do that now. You talk about those things there. Now we're closing.
Okay.
Yeah, okay? I'm starting to do this because otherwise we're always making like 3 hours, 4 hours in a row the presentation. This morning with like the stories, and this was like 3 hours in a row, it's like a lot. So I want to shift a little bit. So we're going further down the road, and then later on we'll get the whole process in. Is that okay? Would you like that?
I'm in a different stage at the moment.
Yeah. You're a different, yeah, I know. But that's my mistake, because I'm just going ding, this. I'll show you again. We started the process. We started in, did the presentation, it's done the presentation, although we didn't do it. Presentation is done, we ask for the first close. That's where we are. And then here, Martijn is going to look me, ask for the close again. He's going to look me, it's a little bit smaller, ask for the close again. Going to look me, ask for the close. So we'll go on and on until he closes. So the basic story, you already got it. Now it's like the small arguments, and even the small arguments, because they don't want to close, they don't want to buy it, they go like, oh my God. So the first 3 ones, there's like big excuses. But the further I go, the further you go, and there you want to have all the stories in. Okay, my friend?
Yes.
Do it again?
Okay. So I heard what you're saying, but let me say this. If you look at... Oh, in English or Netherlands?
Oh, in English is okay, yeah.
Okay. Just in English. But if you look at the product, you can see that it's really... it got its bionectar, so it really reduces the line sepsis, and that's the total cost, of course, of the hospitals shit.
If you do it in English, you have to translate in your, and you're slowing down. So when you do it in your own language, it will be easier. So let me say this. I hear what you say. The only thing I want to put in is, if you have the beer connector and you put it like that, but what I want to, you want to have, for me it's, the basic is, I'm starting with it and go up in tonality. Like, I want him to get up in, so the voice is important here. And for you the words are important. But I don't know what words you want to use. But that's why you make a little story in the beginning. After 2 years telling the stories, you'll know exactly what to say. Okay, so talk a little bit about the product, and then talk about yourself, and then talk about vegan.
Okay.
So I'm going to say like, the price is too high.
Yeah. Well, I hear what you're saying, but let me say this. When you look at the product, you have the bionectar on it, and with that you reduces the amount of line sepsis, and this will reduce your total cost for the hospital, of course, because well, it reduces with 15%. It says something about it. So in the last week in another hospital we had the same case, and they asked me to help to write the business plan, and we actually found out that it was an amount of 20,000 euros.
Okay.
Well, they really like that, of course, as you can imagine.
It's not that easy, is it?
No, it isn't. It's not.
So that is vegan in?
And we can
Oh, yeah. We're doing an innovation. Yeah, the TPO.
Yeah.
What is it?
we can already stop at this moment. We don't need maybe to speak about bio.
Yeah, that would be
Yes.
nice.
But you propose really to do 3 things.
Yeah. You do the 3 things in, and then
Yeah.
you ask
close
me,
again.
so what's really the question? Or what's the question? And I go like, well, I still have some problems because I have to use the echo machine, I don't want to use it. And then you're in the next loop.
Yeah.
Of 3 things. And then you close them.
And then you close them again, then you close them again. Normally, what I would do in the first loop, we did the 3, I wanted to get the 3 in. In the first loop, we're going to do 1 loop.
It's the biggest.
What I want you to do is, I go like, no, the price is too high. And I want you to go, I hear what you're saying, and then I want Martin to talk me into just about the product. Very well, and we got that in, and we got that in, that in, until I start smiling. And then when I'm smiling, well, sounds fair enough. So don't talk about the company, don't talk about me yet. I want you to have 1 loop in, just about the product. Is that okay? Because otherwise it's going to be complex in the beginning. Is that, everybody understood that, or is that?
So the objection is about the price.
Yeah.
And we
So-
make the first
1
loop.
loop. And you
You do about the price. Take an easy one. Everybody got, in the beginning it's like the price and the bus. So take one. So,
That's a difficult one when they told.
you don't answer the price yet.
No, je gaat één keer die prijs vragen. Je moet
Nee,
gewoon
waarom krijg je mee daar rondgepraat?
nee, dat eerste verhaal voor je.
Dat is nog wat we gisteren gedaan hebben, die business cases maken, van tevoren al weten wat gaat het ziekenhuis opleveren. Niet het product tegen een product, dan winnen we niet.
So it's about the price, you go like it's an investment because but you want to have them talk up and up and up, and you don't want to have to answer the price immediately. You want to say a few things about the pick line first, and after you said that, and like I'm starting to smile, then you're going to get like, yeah, and the price, that's like an investment. Because after 2 pick lines, you will have like earn 800 euros. It's like 800 euros in the bank every month for the budget from here. And I can prove it on paper. So, sounds fair enough? Ask for the close again. If they say, yeah, well, you make the appointment. If they close and they go like, well, I got some other question, then you start all over again. I want to have this first loop in. Is that okay? So do it with 3 people. Somebody's watching, so you can watch it. Somebody's watching, so you can actually see them do it. It's easier. Somebody's selling and somebody's playing the doctor. Okay.
You can make your loop about the price and come back and try to close the deal. And the customer said, yeah, it's true, but for me the price is really important because of the budget. We need to make a second loop, but always is the same, a new construction, but always
A new construction. And after a while, you'll know what the arguments are about the price. But you want to give first something in why the pick line is what it is.
So this means you have to prepare really your visit.
Yeah, you have to prepare, but this, normally before you go in, your sales. You do that anyway in your head. When he's going to say that, I'm going to say that, when he's going to... The only thing we're doing now, no? Does somebody prepare the sales meeting? Of course!
So
That's what you do.
And if you leave this
Always
out of your presentation on purpose,
Yeah,
you probably expect, because you want to talk about it, then you know
yeah.
this is a question you can expect.
This is a question you can expect, and some people are not interested in the price. And they're like, I just wanted to see how it works, and the price, well, there's the budget holder.
Yeah.
So, 4 meetings down the road, everybody said yes, and budget holder, oh, the price. So you have to prepare another presentation all about the price. So it's like, it's not that simple.
No.
Can you do an example so we can see how it must be done?
How do you mean?
Sorry?
Wat bedoel je met een voorbeeld?
Ja, dat nu niet maar tijdens het gesprek voert, maar tijdens...
I don't know enough about the price of the PIC line to actually go up in thing, but I'll do it later on. Is that okay? I want you to do it first. One loop. I'll loop afterwards with the tree in. I'll loop you like 17 times on a product of mine. Is that okay? I'll go like ching, 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 and every time I'll ask for the close. Is that okay?
Yeah.
I'm closing you here like 2 days in a row, and you don't even notice.
Is allowed to make a statement in this first objection. I hear what you're saying. Let me say this: you rather spare a lot of money. You save a lot of money because.
No, if you go like, I hear what you say, and you answer on the question.
By
That's not the goal.
No,
That's not the
you
goal.
want to put some extra.
Yeah.
You want to put something extra in, and then in looping, well, basically what we got here is we got the tube, we got this, we got that, we got a whole package, but it's easy for you. And it feels emotionally, it feels like that, and your patient will actually feel the freedom for the first time, walking home from here, getting home, like Mareka. She has a dog, she can feed it tonight, and that's why this product is important. And I can say this, the price is like an investment. Because after putting 3 pigs in, you get like 400 euros return on investment. After, that's how you want to do it. So you tell about the story, and then you go back, and once you're looping, and I'm like, up, 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 and then I want to go like, and about the price, well, that's just an investment. So when it,
To get all these things.
sounds okay, or is it? So I'll do it again. Sounds fair enough? Wat ga jij dan zeggen? Ik ben nu jou.
Ja, heb je de loop al gedaan of niet?
Nee, ik ben ook niet.
No, I think the price is too high.
Well, I hear what you're saying. Well, let me say this. When you get the pig line in, and you can actually put 2 pigs in, and you can see how one of your patients walks out of the hospital the next morning, so they can go home, enjoy their life for the first time in 9 months, because you know that we tried everything with this patient, and now they're walking home, can feed their dog. I think that will put a smile on your face. And about the price, the only thing I can say about the price is it's an investment. After putting in 4 pigs this month, you will have like gained 400 euros. Not only you, but the budget holder, he will be so glad that you'll ask me to come back next month to order some more. Sounds fair enough?
You don't speak about Vigon and about yourself.
That's the first loop. I want to get this loop. If I say like, do Vigon, do this, do that, you go like, shh. I want to do it first time, just do it on the product. But you hear my voice going like, I'm getting really excited in this one. Not always, sometimes I go down. So you want to have like, is that okay? Sounds fair enough?